I would like to welcome the audience to the April 20th, 2021 Parish Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Would you all please stand while Coach Williams says the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance?
Gracious God in heaven, we come thanking you for another blessed day. Thank you for allowing us to come back and forgiveness for refusing our sound. We pray for those who suffer throughout the land today. We ask that blessing upon this board, on this staff, and a special blessing for those who come seeking our help. Let the Holy Spirit dwell in this meeting. Amen. Do that which is pleasing in our sight. And we offer this day as our prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jennifer, would you please call the roll?
Chair Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Dickerson. Here. Ms. Cobb. Mr. Dubrock.
Here.
Ms. Galicia.
Here.
Ms. Hyatt.
Here.
Mr. Little is out of town. Mr. Porsche.
Here.
Mr. Vincent. Here. Mr. Williams.
Yes.
And Ms. Winey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Our procedures have been adjusted to follow social distancing protocol. This is an 11-member board. It will take a majority of those members present to grant or deny any request heard tonight. The chair will refrain from voting unless the vote might affect the outcome. The meeting will be conducted with me reading the requests from the agenda. The planning staff will give a presentation and report their recommendations. If the applicant would like to add to the staff's presentation, or if someone from the audience has comments, they will need to fill out a blue request to appear form located on the round table in the lobby. The form must be given to a staff member prior to the reading of the agenda item. When it is your turn to speak, you'll be asked to proceed to the second floor meeting room. Please come to the microphone and state your name, address, and the nature of your request. As required by the board's bylaws, in all cases, the proponents will be limited to 10 minutes. Opponents will be granted 10 minutes as well, with each speaker allowed no more than 3 minutes. I recommend that a spokesperson be selected if there's a large group wanting to speak on the same agenda item. If 4 or more speaker request forms are submitted, the time allowed for individual speakers will be limited based upon the number of forms submitted. The chair has the right to limit speakers who present redundant information or personal attacks. In unique situations, the chair may extend or the board may vote to extend the time allotted for speakers. After discussion, the board will vote on each request. I will announce the decision of the board after the vote. The exceptions and variances are final tonight. The rezoning cases will go before the police jury for final action on April 22nd, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. This meeting is being filmed by the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel and can be viewed on Wednesday and Thursday following the meeting. For additional run dates, check the website at www.cppj@calcasieuParish.gov. Channel 5 in Lake Charles, Sulphur, Moss Bluff, Westlake, Vinton, DeQuincy, and Gillis, Channel 29 in Carlos and Grand Lake. Please either turn off or silence all electronic devices. Take appropriate action to approve the minutes of March 16, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting. I will entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Dickerson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hyatt. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 6, take appropriate action on VAR-0321-0156, a request by Gary Schultz Edux for a variance to allow an accessory building prior to the main dwelling at 491 Burleston Road in Ward 4. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Ms. Hyatt. Ms. Tunt.
This property is located in Corliss area and encompasses .88 acres of mixed residential zone land. Within the mixed residential zoning district, the ordinance requires an accessory building to be incidental to that of the main or principal building. The applicant is requesting to allow the accessory building prior to a main dwelling. The applicant plans to construct or place a dwelling on the property within 4 years. Because minimal impacts are to be expected, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during the development, that the accessory building be for personal use only, that a main dwelling must be constructed or placed on the property within a time period not to exceed 4 years.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. We have no blue cards on this item. Are there any questions or concerns by any of the board? There being none, all those in favor state aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 7, take appropriate action on EX-0321-0105, a request by Katie Lynn Denton et al. For an exception to allow residential development, modular or manufactured home at 3954 Mason Street in Ward 4. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions. Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Ms. Hyatt. Ms. Tunn.
This property is also located in Corliss and encompasses nearly 1 acre of single-family residential zone land. The applicants purchased the property in 2017 with the intent to build a home. It is not cost-effective for them to construct a home at this time. Therefore, they are requesting to allow a manufactured home or modular home to be placed on their property. Because the development is not consistent with the character of the area, the staff recommends the request be denied. Should the board grant the request, the staff recommends the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, that the manufactured home must be skirted prior to the utilities being connected, and that the development adhere to stormwater best management practices. Our office has received written opposition to this request, and the petition is in your packets.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. We have 3 blue cards, 1 for and 2 against. Do we want the applicant to speak first? Okay. Right. Well, we're going to offer it to them in the end after these folks speak anyway, so. No? Okay. Let's go with the 4. We have a blue card in favor, Jason Williams.
Mr. Chairman, as the speaker comes up, again, a 3-minute time.
Good evening. I just came,
State your name and address for the record.
Jason Williams, 4071 Mason Street.
Thank you.
When we purchased our property in 2004, we bought into, it wasn't a named subdivision. It was just an acre of property out there. We spoke to the prior landowner, and we kind of talked to him about the situation of the property out there. Because, you know, we looked at other properties. You had certain restrictions here, there, and yonder, and it just didn't match what my family wanted. So I was just curious on, from the parish's standpoint, what are the actual restrictions there? I've never seen any paperwork anywhere saying you can't have a modular home, a shop house, because we actually have a shop house on the road behind us. So I've never seen anything stating you can't do either or another. It was described to me as the dwelling had to be $10,000 or more. And that's
Well,
the
those
only thing we
restrictive
got.
covenants are
Yep.
on that subdivision. What we're dealing with is the exception.
Right. So my stance is what would stop them? It doesn't bother me either way. If you or you needed a place to live, it doesn't matter. if there's nothing in writing saying they can't put a modular home or a shop house or whatever there, it
Mr.
doesn't
Crane?
bother me either way. So can somebody explain that to me?
Mr. Crane?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So basically, this is part of the zoning ordinance for the parish. And so under your zoning ordinance that is adopted by the police jury, there is a requirement in that ordinance under residentially zoned property for R1, that's what the property is zoned currently, that it requires an exception by the board, by this board.
Okay.
So this board has to vote on that.
Okay.
And so unless there are individual subdivision restrictions for your property, which is controlled
Yes, and
strictly by
another-
the neighbors and everything, that's something totally different. But this board, because it's under the Calcasieu Parish zoning ordinance,
Okay.
requires them to come before this board
Okay.
to get that permission.
Well, that clears a lot out for me.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, nobody actually spoke to me, so I didn't know what it was all about. So I
Yes,
just
sir.
wanted to come speak, just to
Sure.
say it doesn't bother me either way who does what out there. So that's kind of the impression I got when I built out there. So
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Williams?
thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have against Keith Mansell.
Hello, my name is Keith Mansell. I live at 3938 Mason. I'm just north of the property that's in question. I'm sympathetic to people trying to find a place to live. When I moved there about 15 years ago, I went through wetland mitigation and zoning restrictions. So I met both obligations, and it never crossed my mind to ask my neighbors for an exception or exemption. To me, it just wouldn't have been fair to them to have to do something that, or for me to ask to do something they didn't have to do. So I'm just simply asking you guys to enforce the restrictions that this neighborhood has been built on. To me, there's no outstanding, there's no circumstance that this characteristics of this plot is any different than the surrounding areas. And that neighborhood is probably 90% built, would be my guess, so I don't see any reason for a variance at this time. So thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Mansell by the board? Thank you, Mr. Mansell.
Wait, I'm gonna give them what you pass out.
Better not.
Just don't put the camera on.
They're already on you.
Hey, how y'all doing? I need to take the hat off or?
No, you can take your mask off.
Okay. My name's Greg Foreman. I live 3977 Mason Street, across from the property that they trying to amend and last week, I turned in a list of signatures of, okay. That was everybody on Burkholder, everybody on Letty, and everybody on Mason, except for 3 homes. And the 3 homes that I didn't ask, one of them's wife is very bad sick, and the other one, which Mr. Williams, I think he's related some way, and the other man on Burkholder, he tried to put some RV spots in to rent, and he was turned down. And I've been there since 1980, and me and 2 other men are the only people that's still, there. And they built some very nice brick homes in that area. And what we're concerned is if they allow this person to put a manufactured or a module, what's it do to the price of the property? I talked to a real estate lady, and she just bought a $286,000 home on Burkholder. And when she found out about it, she was very upset. And when Miss Denton found out I was going around asking, she come to my house the next day and wasn't very happy that I was going around, what was I doing? I said, well, ma'am, this restrictions, I said, I got the paper right here from the police jury with all the restrictions. But the main thing is everybody on this paper is worried about the property values. And if the real estate lady said we could probably lose up to 20%. Now, the lady that just bought the $286,000 home, I'm not good at math, but that's a lot of money to lose on that much, on $286,000. And like I say, I've been there since 81 or 80, and I just went around the neighborhood asking, and people were happy to sign. And that's, any questions?
Any of the board have any questions for Mr. Foreman? No, sir, we do not. Thank you.
Okay, and I think a lot of the signatures are Mr. and Mrs., and I think I had like 31 or 36 signatures. Lost count. I'm not good in speaking in front of crowds. Okay?
Mr. Porsche?
How long did you say you've lived in this area?
I bought the house in 80 or 81. I've been there 40-something years.
Okay. Speaking to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. We bought the house in 80 or 81, and I've been in that house for at least 41 years.
Right. Okay. I was just curious. That's a
Yeah,
long time.
I remember when it was gravel and shale, and when they blacktopped it, I went, oh, man,
Right.
this is nice. But that's our main concern, is
Sure.
the property values. And another thing, if this is allowed and they put it, and somebody that has an extra acre next to their house, say they want to put a mobile home or a manufactured home or a trailer house for their mama or daddy to live in, if she was granted the right, and they come up, we'll have to go through all this mess again and just waste y'all's time and, but like I say, I just rode around the neighborhood getting signatures but.
Thank you,
Alrighty.
Mr. Moore.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too.
I have a question on West.
Ms. Cobb?
Okay, West. There was no structure on this property before?
Ma'am,
There was no structure on this property? It's just been vacant lately?
it apparently has been vacant.
Based on the imagery, that's what it looks
Yeah.
like. Okay. Would the applicant like to speak? No? Okay. Any questions for the staff? There being none, Ms. Wallace, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Cobb?
No.
Mr. Porsche?
No.
Mr. Williams?
No.
Mr. Dubrock?
No.
Ms. Dickerson?
No.
Ms. Hyatt?
No.
Ms. Galicia?
No.
Ms. Winey?
No.
And Mr. Vincent? So that is 9 against.
Okay. Motion fails. Item number 8, take appropriate action on EX-0421-0108, a request by JF&S Enterprises LLC for an exception to allow commercial development, beer, packaged liquor, and tobacco sales at 3380 Sandpit Road in Ward 7. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Ms. Hyatt. Ms. Tunn.
This property is located in the northwest Vinton area near Niblets Bluff and encompasses approximately 35 acres. In 2014, this property was rezoned to recreational vehicle park to allow an RV park on site with an office and a store. At this time, the applicant is requesting a zoning exception to allow the sale of beer, packaged liquor, and tobacco. Because minimal impacts are to be expected, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, and that an occupational license and beer and liquor license must be obtained prior to the sale of alcohol.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. We have no blue cards on this item. Are there any questions by the board for the staff? There being none, all those in favor state aye. Any opposed, state no. Motion passes. Item 9, take appropriate action on RZ-0421-0195, a request by J.F.&S Enterprises LLC to rezone from recreational vehicle park to general commercial to allow commercial development, a lounge, at 3380 Sandpit Road in Ward 7. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Dickerson, second by Ms. Cobb. Ms. Tunn.
This rezoning goes along with the previous case. Again, in 2014, this property was rezoned to allow an RV park. The applicant is requesting to rezone a 100-foot by 100-foot tract of land located near the RV park's swimming lake to construct a lounge. Because minimal impacts are to be expected, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file with the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, that an occupational license and beer and liquor license must be obtained prior to the sale of alcohol, and that a runoff management plan will be required unless appropriate waiver is granted by the Division of Engineering.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. We have no blue cards on this item. Are there any questions or comments from the board? There being none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 10, take appropriate action on RZ-0321-0192, a request by Andrew Gary to rezone from mixed residential R2 to light industrial I-1 to allow light industrial development, office warehouse complex at 5541 Swift Plant Road in Ward 3. I will entertain a motion for approval with conditions.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Ms. Hyatt. Ms. Tunn.
This property is located in Lake Charles and encompasses approximately a half acre. At this time, the applicant is requesting to rezone the property to light industrial to allow office and warehouse development. The applicant will construct the buildings for potential lease tenants. Because the proposed zoning is consistent with the character of the area, the staff recommends the request be granted with the following conditions: that the development adhere to the site plan on file, the Division of Planning and Development, provided that the director or designee may authorize adjustments to the site plan in light of technical or engineering considerations discovered during development, that all exterior lighting must be oriented inward toward the development and the light source cannot be visible to the adjacent properties, that screening must be provided in accordance with Section 26-50 of the Parish Code of Ordinances prior to final electrical approval, that the development adhere to stormwater best management practices, that a runoff management plan will be required unless appropriate waiver is granted by the Division of Engineering, that the use be limited to a contractor shop and storage yard as per the letter of intent on file, and should the development permit not be obtained within 1 year of police jury approval, the property shall automatically revert to its original zoning classification as per Section 26-127B of the Parish Code of Ordinances.
Thank you, Ms. Tunn. We have no blue cards in opposition on this particular matter. Are there any questions or comments from the board? There being none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Item 11, take appropriate action on RZ-0620 2022-0168, a request by Calhoun Parish Division of Planning and Development to rezone certain tracts of land from agricultural A1 and single-family residential R1 to multi-family residential RM, light commercial C1, general commercial C2, light industrial I1, and heavy industrial I2 to maintain the commercial and industrial character of the area in Forest Glade subdivision, Smith Estate, Venable Partition, and along Houston River Road and the extension of Coach Williams Drive in Ward 4. I will entertain a motion to postpone the request indefinitely. Motion by Ms. Dickerson, second by Ms. Cobb. All those in favor state aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 12. The next item on the agenda is to advise that the police jury took the following action on March 18, 2021, with reference to the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board from the March 16, 2021 meeting. Tower Land Company, Gant Road, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. City Storage, Highway 27 South, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. City Storage, Highway 27 North, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. Jason Gospard, Highway 27 North, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. Mount Olive, Opelousas Street, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. Gotcha Properties, Broussard Road, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. Black Lake, Goodman Road, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury denied. Jackie, Lake Street, Planning and Zoning recommended approval, police jury approved. CPPJ, Forest Glade et al., Planning and Zoning recommended to defer, police jury deferred. Item 13, the next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 18, 2021. Item 14, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Dickerson. Second by Ms. Winey. We are adjourned.